Hey guys, how you doing? It's Tom. I'm back for another video, and actually this one is staying on that sort of budget topic, right? I just went over, I just did a video about medical expenses, and these were specific medical expenses and not involving a hospital stay. I never stayed in a hospital or anything like that overnight, or this was all just outpatient stuff. You know what I mean? Doctor visits, various things I had to get done, like ultrasounds or MRIs or whatever, physical therapy, stuff like that. So it was all, in and out type stuff. I mean, it wasn't, I wasn't in a hospital at all. So, but anyway, this one, I just want to do a monthly budget, just showing kind of like what we spent, right, on our expenses for November. You know, it's pretty accurate. I mean, I kind of thought of everything that I could think of. And when you're not used to doing that, it took me a little while to sort of gather up, everything. I kind of put it on a spreadsheet and I looked at it and it looked pretty right, you know. Now I've got a few other expenses from the U.S. Like I have a property that I'm renting out and stuff like that, and whatever. There's things that involve that I don't include in this because that's already sort of taken out of my income. You know what I mean? Which I don't necessarily not necessarily going to talk about my income. I'm not rich or anything, but I mean it's enough, you know what I mean, for us to live, you know, uh, comfortably on here, at least to not be, overtaxed or anything like that on what we spend, um, you know what I mean? It's like what most guys will get, you know what I mean? I just happen to have two sources instead of just one, but there's some guys that only have Social Security that make the same as what I make for both sources of my two incomes, you know what I mean? So it's pretty average, like for what you would probably see here, or what you would want to have here, especially if you got more than one person, I mean, there's four of us here, you know what I mean, it's not just me. So anyway, so I'm gonna just go through everything, just to gives you an idea of what our expenses are. Well, again, we're here in Quezon City, Manila. Okay, we're not in like Dumaguete, we're not in Bacolod or Bohol or Cebu. We're in Manila. So but we're not in the most expensive part of Manila. Okay, we're not in Makati, or BGC, you know. So all right, so number one, I'm just gonna tell you. Well, I'll tell you the amount in pesos and then the approximate. Like I'll give you the dollar amount too. You know what I mean? So our rent now. This is a 3-bed, 2-bath condo that we're renting here. Okay, it's like the upper floor. It's not a high rise, but it's a mid rise. But it's not a ground level. It's like upper floor. Um, and that is 35,000 a month rent. Okay, so right now today's exchange rate, that's about $628 US a month. Okay, for rent. Our electric bill is about 3,800 pesos a month, and that's pretty consistent, by the way. We only use the air conditioning usually when we sleep at night, and it's just in our bedroom. You know, once in a while we got a split unit in the living room. Sometimes at night I'll use it, but not that often. Usually we just use a fan. During the day and out in the living room and stuff. And the girls have fans in their bedrooms as well. They also one of them has an air con too, but I don't think she ever uses it. She's not really used to it. You know what I mean? Like you know, they grew up without it, so it's kind of like they're used to it. They're used to just the fans. But anyway, so 3,800 for the electric bill, which is approximately $68 USD. Okay. Now there's also like a water bill that we pay, uh, and sort of a common area, electric and water, like for the laundry area, our laundry spot and stuff like that. And that actually totals about 1,200 pesos a month. So that's about $21.50 a month. Our internet and cable, we have both combined with Sky. That is about 2,500 pesos a month, which is about $45 a month USD. Our food, now this would be like groceries I'm talking about. You know, basically SNR is where we buy a lot of our meats and stuff, vegetables and fruits. And then in between SNR visits, when we run out of certain things, we go to the regular grocery store, whether it's Pure Gold, whether it's Hypermart, whether it's whatever, and we'll pick up a few things. And so I kind of included that too. But it's about 25,000 pesos a month, which is about $450. Um, and then the restaurants, okay, that's either eating in a restaurant or getting delivery, like Panda, using the Panda app, Food Panda app, and getting it delivered. That's on average about 10,000 pesos a month, which is about $180 a month. Okay. Leisure, that's just kind of like if we don't go, if you go to the park or something, or we go somewhere specifically, what is the admission fee? You know what I mean? Not so much the transportation, how much it costs to get there, because that's included in the taxi budget number. But just like what would be the admission fee and all that. So that's just kind of that's not even going to be the same every month. But I don't know. I just put 2,000 pesos for that month. We went to some places and stuff. So that's only about $40. It's actually a little bit less probably than $40 with today's exchange, but I kind of rounded it up. Now the taxis and the grabs, about 5,000 pesos, um, a month, or I rounded it again up to about $100 just to kind of be safe. Uh, so these are fairly conservative numbers, like on the high side usually. So they're pretty accurate. In other words, not going to be like too low. Um, now our phone bills, mine is obviously the highest, but then they have their local Filipino load card systems and all that. I just kind of tried to round it off. It's going to be lower than this a little bit, like soon. But for now, I just put on there like $72 because mine's still about 40. It will probably go down to closer to 30 because I don't have data anymore with Google Fi. They knocked my data off, so I have another company that I have data with. It's pretty cheap too, but I still get. Sometimes I make phone calls or I get phone calls, so they're still hitting me with those 20 cents a minute deals on phone calls. So it tends to be a little higher than normal. So I just put like $72 or whatever. You can just say $70 if you want. But that's for loads and everything. That's 4 people. And most of it, over half of it, is just my phone. More than half. Um, okay, and then for meds, and when I say meds, I'm not talking about all that special stuff that I had to take or the different stuff, but anything that's sort of ongoing or it was existing previously. Like my regular meds, which is just losartan basically, and now I'm taking another pill, uh, also for the prostate. So I just put on there 3,000 for the meds, 3,000 pesos, or about. I just put $40. I made it like $40 US. And then the only other fee I can think of was the I just put miscellaneous. For like anything that I miss, right? Like I just think maybe I missed something, so just unexpected expense or something, right? Plus, one of the girls is still going to school, so she needs she takes a jeepney and all that. And it's not real far from here, but there's some transportation cost involved that maybe I didn't put in the other taxi grab budget. So whatever. So I just throw it in here, and I said 4,000 pesos, or maybe around $70 US. Um, that's pretty much all I could think of. I mean, I'm trying to think, is there anything else? Yeah, that now the drinking water is very limited because we get at least 5 free bottles. When I say bottles, I'm talking like they're 4 to 5 gallon bottles. Like every, I think it's 3 weeks or 2.5, 3 weeks that we get 5 free ones, right? So there are some, but they're only 17 pesos a bottle when you pay for them. So it's included in the water bill, you know, like the service water in the unit. I just threw it. I included that drinking water. You know, it's not that much. Believe me, it's, you know, it's just a few, you know, a few dollars or whatever a month. You know, might be $5 a month or something. You know, so this is pretty accurate. Okay. And again, I'm going to add it all up. I mean, it's just under 100,000 pesos. It's probably like 98,000 pesos, something like that. I have a number written down, but I made a little bit of adjustments, and I didn't adjust it because my total in USD is accurate. That's already adjusted, and that's like $1,712.53. That's the monthly costs, you know, that we have. Now keep in mind, you know, I don't have a car, but thus I do have taxi and grab expenses, but I don't have like gasoline expenses, right, or diesel, gas, or whatever, you know, the car would take, right? Whichever kind of car you're going to get. There's a lot of diesels here in the Philippines, um, so I don't have that expense. I don't I don't really drink a lot at all. You know what I mean. It's kind of like so you can adjust your own, you know, budget accordingly, right? You know, but I will tell you that like beer is pretty inexpensive here. You know, like Red Horse, especially, and I think even San Miguel. It's pretty reasonable. I mean, it's probably cheaper than it is in the U.S. um, and I know cigarettes are cheap here, even though hopefully you're not still smoking. And I just did a video on how I quit several years ago. I quit, but I mean, I did a video on that. But I'm just saying, if you do smoke and you're wondering about it, I don't know exactly what it is here, what it costs, but I know it's a lot cheaper than it is in the U.S., you know. Matter of fact, it probably costs here what it used to in the U.S. back when I quit in the late 90s. You know what I mean? That's probably what it costs here now in the Phils, you know. But anyway, and you know, hopefully, like I said, hopefully you're not still carrying that bad habit with you, you know. But that's about it, guys. You know, again, if you got any questions or anything, don't hesitate to comment. If you think I missed something, let me know. You know, and I'm human. I do make mistakes. But yeah, just like, comment, subscribe, share. That's another one, right? I always forget to say, tell you guys to maybe share too. You know, and that's it, guys. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend.